还有各位观众朋友，大家好，我是小伟。今天跟着我们姚大还有亚当人，我们今天来参加 GoPro 9的发表会。那个发表会呢，其实我们有点早到了啦，对，我们有点早到了，就是现在大概5点多。那他其实现在在彩排，那就是可以让你玩一下 GoPro 9这样子。那晚一点，好像7点多、7点半。 活动才会正式开始，那我们现在就去吃个饭。那晚一点再跟大家介绍，也会有修个表演，那就让我们拭目以待吧。耶！ I cannot really been addicted to you. All of my attention I've been giving to you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. On my mind, I can't lie. On my mind, I can't lie. Pull you down till you dry. Pull you down till you dry. All the time, ease my mind. All the time. You're dangerous, I'm addicted to you. I might rent the Lambo and go drive it like it's stolen. I've been living wild, I'm just going through the motions. Stumbling out the Uber, grab my hand, gave me the notion. Swimming in your water, but it feels just like the ocean.
让为我们带来精彩的开场表演。10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Until something better came along. Until something better came along. Forever, and so does me and you. We say we love, we say we love. We gave it all, we gave it all. We say we love, we say we love. But we were just here to stay until something better came along.
我相信各位今天应该是带着一颗最热忱、最期待的心情来参加今天的活动。我需要听到各位的热情，好吗？像刚刚我们 LuxyGril 一样这么火辣的热情，再次跟大家问好，大家好不好？哇，真的非常非常开心，又再度跟大家见面了。
Hey everyone, it's Nick. Welcome to my garage and GoPro's 2020 launch preview event. It's been a challenging year, to say the least, with COVID-19 changing how we live in so many ways. But one thing that hasn't changed is people's curiosity, creativeness, passion. Around the world, people have proven to be so resilient, finding inventive ways to stay active and engage and pursue experiences that matter to them. Fortunately for GoPro, they've continued using their GoPros to capture and share those experiences. The result is that our business has thrived despite the many challenges. And that makes this year's launch all the sweeter, knowing that GoPro's innovation and inventiveness is appreciated and meaningful to so many people around the world during these trying times. We've been really inspired by our customer community. They've shown us that people will not only carry on amidst crisis, they'll find ways to live on. So before we get into our new products, let's take a moment to celebrate the GoPro customer community and how resourceful, resilient, and inventive they've been so far this year.
Let's get involved.
As you can see, the GoPro community is an inspired group, and they're demanding, and we love them for it. What we're going to show you today is what they've been asking for. You're about to see the realization of what matters most to our customers, be it performance, versatility, resolution, stabilization, battery life, value. What you're about to see has more of all of that. And a few surprises, like for example, you're going to see our previous flagships, Hero9 Black and Max, come together in an exciting new way, delivering more performance, more versatility, and more value than's ever been in one single GoPro before. And you're going to see how we maximize value for our customers, because we honor wowing them with value just as we do with performance. I hope you're going to see that our new product is much more than just the sum of its parts, It's the sum of all of our customers' desires, plus 18 years of product and engineering experience thrown in. So here we go. It's a great honor to introduce to you Hero9 Black.
That a lot of my neighbors like to walk around their apartments naked. So.
All right, thank you, Nick. Those videos always give me the chills. I'd love to see how both our users capture footage with our cameras, and then when we showcase what our cameras can do through our videos, the way that GoPro does, it's just absolutely incredible. Hi, everyone. I'm Pablo Lema. I'm the Vice President of Product at GoPro. I'm really excited to be here today to talk to you about Hero9 Black. Now, we typically do these things in person in really cool events around the world, where we get to get hands-on and really talk to each other and get to experience the new devices that we're releasing. This year, as we all know, it's a little bit different, but I hope you're all safe and healthy, and hopefully this presentation will help you get a really good understanding of Hero9 Black, and then we will be happy to answer any questions you have at the end of the presentation. So I'm excited to talk to you about Hero9 Black. Let's get into it. Our theme this year is more of everything. We've really spent the last 18 months listening to our customers, researching what they're using our cameras for, how they're using the features in Hero8 Black, and also how they're using Max, one of our other cameras. And we incorporated a lot of that feedback into Hero9 Black, and I think you'll see it in the following slides in the conversation. Today, we're introducing Hero9 Black with a 23.6 megapixel sensor. What this means to users is we can deliver now incredible 5K video and 20 megapixel photos. And almost as importantly, 14.7 megapixel video stills. We're also introducing a front display together with a much larger rear display to allow for great framing and great usage of the camera. Battery life is something that our customers have consistently asked us for more of. And with Hero9 Black, we're proud to introduce 30% more battery life than Hero8 Black. And what bigger battery does for us, it also allows us to create much better cold weather performance. Those are the headline internals of the Hero9 Black, but Hero9 Black continues to be the same flagship device that carries the GoPro DNA. It's rugged and waterproof. It's got the pin mounting that we introduced in Hero8 Black. It's got water draining performance microphones, high wind audio performance. And this year, we're increasing the size of the buttons to give you a better tactile feel when using the camera in gloved use cases and other environments in which it's harder to find the buttons. And we're also reintroducing removable lens cover glass. We've heard our customers, we wanted that to be in the camera. We brought it back and we're increasing the usability of that feature by introducing some cool accessories and some things you can do with the removable cover glass. We'll talk a bit more about that later. So what is in the sensor? The 23.6 megapixel sensor is going to deliver the legendary GoPro image quality that we've had, but with more quality and more resolution in users. It's going to deliver stunning 5K video that gives you 77% more pixels than 4K. What that does is it enables users flexibility in zooming in on their images if they want to find a perfect shot that was captured in a larger resolution, or they can capture the whole scene and witness it in the highest resolution we've ever given in a GoPro camera. We also get 20 megapixel photos, as I said before, with super photo. GoPro customers take a lot of photos with our cameras. It's one of the best devices to capture really cool shots of simple use cases that we all live. Jumping in a pool, jumping off a cliff, riding your kid's first bike ride. That GoPro photo sometimes gives you that really immersive look that people treasure and creates a really unique memory. And 20 megapixels is a dramatic increase in image quality and resolution for our users. And finally, the new sensor gives you much more improved image stabilization. So we're continuing our story of hypersmooth that we started back in Hero9 Black. And this year, we get something called in-camera horizon leveling. So last year, we introduced this in the GoPro app. Now it's inside the camera, and it delivers fantastic horizon leveling when using the camera in handheld scenarios or mounted scenarios. Truly a gimbal-like experience. And that feature works all the way up to 5K. And the sensor gives us what we call max hypersmooth and max super view up to 2.7K, which is some of our favorite features for max. And we do that by using it with what we call the max lens mod, which we will get into in a little later. I love sensors, I love pixels. That's an incredible new improvement that we're delivering to our customers this year through the new sensor. Let's talk about something that increased image quality and resolution in the camera gives to end users. And we call this more skills. So with the new sensor for the camera delivering 5K video, a screen grab from that video results in an image that is 14.7 megapixels. That is a better photo than many cell phones deliver to this day. So you are essentially taking high frame rate photos every time you're recording video with Hero9 Black. It's an incredible capability that you don't miss out. It creates a really, really cool way to capture jumps, to capture ski moves, and freeze the frame and grab that really cool picture and still be really high image quality. Check this out. I'm excited to see how customers are going to use screen grabs to really create freeze frame pauses and moments that they care about the most. It's really, really powerful feature that I use a lot. And now let's talk a little bit more about some additional physical thing on the camera. We call it the more screens. So we've obviously introduced in the camera a new front-facing screen and also a much larger rear screen. So this is great for framing your shots, also really good for things like vlogging and group shots where you have to be able to frame who's in the scene. You can change the mode in the front screen to be on the full representation where you're seeing a fill up the front screen, or you can actually reduce it down just to status only if you really just want to see the best information. Kind of acts like our old Multec screen that we had on the camera in previous years. The camera in the back is 16% larger than in previous generations. which creates a much easier to use interaction in the back of the screen. And importantly, the two screens are on at the same time. This is something that's really valuable and really powerful, where we find that users don't want to be switching between which screen they want to use. They want to be able to quickly see from front to back. Check this out. Let's talk about more battery life. So year after year, our customers have asked us for more battery life possible out of our GoPro. It's one of the most important features that we care about a lot, because we want to make sure that you can capture the moment when you need to capture it and make sure the battery is sufficient for the rest of your activity. So what we did is we went back to the drawing board on our batteries and increased its capacity significantly from previous generations. So now we can deliver 30% more battery life than in previous cameras, and importantly, much better performance in cold weather, up to 45 to 60% higher run times in cold weather. All of this is done through a much larger 1720 milliamp hour battery. So here's a little example of what that means in a real-time use. Now let's talk about Hypersmooth. And I remember the day we introduced Hypersmooth in Hero9 Black and how magical that performance was. And I always thought to myself, how is it that we can keep improving them year after year? Well, we've done it yet again in Hypersmooth 3.0. And in this next generation of Hypersmooth, we're introducing in-camera horizon leveling up to 5K. And what this will do is if you're walking with the camera and it is slightly off center, the camera will automatically correct the horizon and deliver you consistent, stabilized footage up to 5K. It's a really, really powerful feature for when you're hand-holding the camera, or, as many people sometimes discover, when it's mounted on something and it's just a little bit off, you can correct it and have the horizon be perfectly level through your activity. We're also introducing Hypersmooth Boost in all frame rates and resolutions as combinations. This is a really powerful feature. The ultimate stabilization in the GoPro is when we deliver boost. And in the past, we haven't been able to give it in every single mode of the camera, and now we can in Hero9 Black. And Hypersmooth 3.0 works across the board up until 5K, delivering the best stabilization yet in a camera from us. And I think you'll enjoy this video showcasing how that works. I'm amazed at how we can actually create a gimbal inside one of our cameras through Hypersmooth 3.0. And now let's talk about the other feature that was introduced at the time of Hero9 Black, Time Warp. And this year we're introducing Time Warp 3.0, which is one of the coolest ways to create short, fun clips out of longer moments, such as a hike or a marathon or other things that are a little longer in duration and you want to shorten them up. So today we're introducing Time Warp 3.0 with a little bit more features, more control, just make it a little bit more awesome to get that creative juice going. And we're doing it by improving what we had before called speed ramp. And so now you can slow that down all the way to real speed, and we will capture the audio during the real speed moment, which makes it really cool. So you can be running up into a point on your hike, you stop, and everyone talks about it and how cool it is, that's all captured, and then you restart the time warp and it keeps on going. And then if you really want to make it cool, you reduce that real speed down to half speed. So now you're getting really fast speed of a time warp down to an ultra slow motion. And all of that is stabilized with Hypersmooth 3.0 during the real moments. It's a really cool, our users love this feature. It's really creative piece of content that can come out of this capability in the camera. And I'm excited to see how people use real speed and real speed and half speed audio in Time Warp 3.0. Here's an example of how that looks like. One of my favorite ways to use Time Warp is to actually put it on a chesty on a kid. It creates some of the funniest high-speed shots you can ever get of a child. So just a little aside, you guys should check that out. And let's talk about webcam mode. Webcam mode is a feature that we introduced recently in Hero8 Black over the summer, and it's going to be in Hero9 Black. And what this does is it takes a GoPro from being purely a recording device to also now being a really good real-time communication device by integrating itself into many other video conferencing platforms that we use today for work, for fun, for catching up with friends, or really a lot of times for instruction. So with Hero9 Black, you'll be able to broadcast in webcam platforms up to 1080p. You'll be able to use the front LCD to frame yourself, which is really compelling because the screen is really close to the lens. Your eyes are exactly where it's being captured. And we found that this feature is really powerful for use cases such as fitness instructions, schools, teachers, cooks. So I usually think of the example of a cook that does a Zoom class. We'll put a GoPro on top of the stove and you can see the entire cooking experience, which is really hard to do, as you can imagine, using a phone or a laptop. But with a GoPro, you can create that really cool immersion and still be participating in the video conference, which is really powerful. As a matter of fact, I'm using this feature right now for this presentation. So my recording is going through a Hero9 Black into a video conferencing platform that we're using to make this presentation. So it's really, really cool. I'm excited for how users are going to keep using webcam and integrate GoPros into real-time communication. Speaking of real-time communication, let's talk about live streaming. It's something we've introduced a few years ago in our cameras, and this year we have something pretty cool coming in Hero9 Black. So as continues to be the case, when you live stream through a GoPro, you're going to get 1080p video with HyperSmooth applied to it, and this year's HyperSmooth 3.0. What that means is you get the most stabilized live stream capabilities of any camera out there. And so when you mount the GoPro to a race car and it is transmitting that footage directly to an audience, it's the best footage it can be because it's incredibly stable and has that GoPro image quality. So that's really, really cool and creates interesting live views of events that can only be captured when a GoPro is mounted in that case. This year, we've introduced a new feature for GoPro subscribers, which now you can actually transmit directly from the camera through GoPro to the audience that you want to share with. And what that means is the higher quality that we can find out of the live streaming platform, and it's the easiest to set up because we control the entire experience. So it's essentially a one-touch experience in the app, and you're transmitting via GoPro to those people that you care about. Now let's talk about power tools. And power tools are, as the name implies, deep capabilities in the cameras that enable the ultimate control of how you're going to use the device to capture a moment. Many of our customers want as much control as we will give them in our devices to make it anywhere from manual capture all the way to ISO controls. We've done that through ProTune, and now we've extended that capability with what we call power tools. And we have 3 new ones this year joining one that we've had in cameras before, which was Live Burst. And we'll get into them. Hindsight, one of my favorite features in the camera, if not my favorite feature in Hero9 Black this year, scheduled capture and duration capture. All right, let's talk about Hindsight, which is one of my favorite features in Hero9 Black, if not my favorite feature, together with Max Hotspot. What Hindsight does is what the name implies. You are looking into the past of what just happened. And the way it works is the camera will record the last up to 30 seconds of something that happened when you press the shutter button in Hindsight mode. What this means for users is all those moments that you've been trying to capture that perfect shot, whether it's a jump in the pool from a kid, that wave that you're trying to capture, by using Hindsight, you can make sure that you just have to record the one that was good and never have to record several versions of the same event. So it's a really powerful feature that once you use it, you realize, man, it's like I'm DVRing my life. I can remember what I saw without having to constantly be recording it. And it's a really powerful feature that I think users are going to get really creative of, including one of our own employees. He got really creative at home, since we're all at home, and he tried to do something pretty hard. And I'll just let you see it in the video because it's actually pretty cool. Check it out. Speaking of capturing the perfect moment, Hindsight is meant to capture really cool videos and that perfect shot that you never miss again. And Live Burst, which is one of the features we introduced in our cameras recently, is also meant to capture that perfect shot, but with photos. And what Live Burst does, it makes sure that it captures an exact moment in a cliff jump, for example. And what it does is instead of you having to make sure that you press the button at the right time, you just press it right when you think it's supposed to be the right moment, and we will capture 1.5 seconds before and 1.5 seconds after, and even create a small little video that you can use to create some cool animations from that moment. It's a really powerful way of capturing and not missing a moment in photos. And it does this and creates a 4K 3-second clip at the end of it as well. Another power tool that I'm very excited about, scheduled capture. So it's a blessing for all those of us who like to capture sunrises or sunsets, but don't want to be around the camera. We're introducing scheduled capture. And what this means is what the name implies. You can, up to 24 hours in advance, set a time in which the camera will be, even if it's powered off, it will wake up and perform whatever setting you set up the scheduled captured in, and it'll start to record. So this is obviously great for early sunrises, where you don't have to wake up. You get out of bed and realize that the camera actually captured the perfect sunrise at that beach where you're spending time. It's really, really cool. Once you use it, you realize that this is how all cameras should be able to set a time when they start recording. Here's a little example of how that works. And finally, we have duration capture as one of the new power tools this year. And combined with scheduled capture, it creates a pretty powerful capability in the camera. So duration capture, the name is very self-explanatory. It actually means you can set how long the camera will record for any particular capture that you're doing. So how I use it in many ways is I will set a sunrise time. I want the camera to start recording at 5 a.m. And I'll say just record for 1.5 hours. Because I know that in that moment, in that window, I will have captured the memory that I care about. And the camera will both turn on and stop recording, and then eventually turn off without me ever having to be around it. So you can actually stash the camera in the middle of the woods and create that really cool shot without having to standing there next to the camera as you had to do in the past. And that really makes it a really powerful way for some of our creative users to use the camera and allow them to create shots that couldn't otherwise be captured because they have to be standing next to it. And those are the power tools. So we've got Hindsight, we've got Live Burst, we've got scheduled capture, and duration capture. And those 4 capabilities are going to create really compelling ways of getting footage, both simplifying a user's life behind it, giving ultimate control to things like scheduled capture and duration. So now, we've been spending the last few minutes talking about the capabilities in the camera. What I'd like to do now is take a moment to talk about some of the accessories that you can use with your Hero9 Black to extend your capture capabilities and create even more compelling shots. And the first one we want to talk about is max lens mount. which together with Hindsight, as I said earlier, probably my top 2 favorite features on Hero9 Black. And what Max Lens Mod is taking the best out of Max and putting it into an accessory for Hero9 Black. And the best of Max is Max Hyper Smooth Stabilization in Hero Mode Video, together with Max Super View Ultra Immersive capture that we got in Max. You can do that through an accessory that attaches to your Hero9 Black super simply. And what this does is it's going to deliver ultra-wide 155-degree super view images, which is a really compelling way of capturing footage. And it also creates what we call horizon lock, which means I can actually spin the camera around as fast as I want, and the horizon will appear completely flat in the video thanks to Max Hyper Smooth, thanks to the lens mod, and the sensor that we put in the camera, as I spoke at the beginning of the presentation. Max Lens Mod will change the way people use GoPros. It's going to create the most stable, most compelling footage that we have seen yet. And it's probably my favorite way to capture with the GoPro. My GoPro sits with a Max Lens Mod on it most of the time. It also comes with a convenient lens cap to protect the lens mod whenever you need to put the camera away if you leave it mounted. So really cool mod for Hero9 Black, but we're not done yet. Let's talk about the other mods. Media mod. So last year we introduced Media mod for Hero 8 Black. We're improving on that capability. Users were really excited about the ability to have attachments with peripherals on the cameras, to get HDMI out, to get their own way to input their external microphone. And this year we're changing the Media mod to increase some of the features that users have asked from us over the past year. We've actually put a foam cover on the mic to reduce wind noise a lot more than we had last year. It's much better directional audio. And then we've also made the Media mod this year weather resistant, which is something that the last year's Media mod did not have. This means that you can actually take a bit of a tumble in some water with the camera, and it's fine to walk around in the rain, and the Media mod will be just fine. And then it has all these same features that we had last year. So Media mod improved this year with better audio. Light mod, one of the favorite products that we make at GoPro for me. Super compelling, small little camera light that can be attached to Media mod through the adapter, the cold shoot adapter, or it can be used standalone as an independent flashlight whenever you need it. So it's rugged, it's versatile, it's waterproof, has 200 lumens of power. It's compatible with our entire ecosystem of mounts and accessories. And light mod is kind of a sleeper hit for me. It's a really, really cool little product. And the thing that you always wish when you have a light mod is that you have 2 or 3 of them so you can put them around. Pretty cool little product we made. Display mod. This is a product that creates a really large, much larger screen that can be used either with Hero9 Black or the old Media mod with Hero 8 Black. And what this does is a really good combination with the front LCD of Hero9 Black or the informational screen from our old cameras, and because it creates a much larger preview. And once you use it, you'll see an arm's length display mod for certain use cases, including selfie and vlogging. It really is a really much larger, more easier to read framing view of the video that you're about to record. And it folds down, it travels, and it's a really convenient way of increasing the usability of your camera for those use cases where you need to see as much as you can of what's being framed. And so now what we're going to do is we're show a little highlight reel of all the lots together for Hero9 Black. And finally, with Hero9 Black, let's talk about how the camera arrives at customers' hands, and something that we're extremely proud of at GoPro for enabling this year, which is we are introducing plastic-free packaging for Hero9 Black. And let me grab it and I'll show you. So Hero9 Black will look like this when it's packaged and arriving in customers' hands. And what we've done is not only have we accomplished our goal of removing plastic from our packaging in Hero9 Black, and it's coming to our other cameras at a later date, but we've also created value by delivering the camera in a case that you can actually use to store your camera and other accessories for whenever you want to use the camera. So everything in here is really useful and utilitarian and has value other than this recyclable little insert where the camera comes in, which we obviously invite users to recycle. It does recycle. And then this is a really, really cool way of delivering the product to users, a very GoPro way of doing it, because now you can actually put any accessories that you buy for your camera, you'll be able to use it in this nice sturdy case. So I'm really proud of it. It looks a little bit like this on the screen in a little more detail.
Yeah! 好的，哇，我们掌声谢谢刚刚 Nick 跟 Pablo 的精彩说明以及介绍。
各位观众，好了，刚刚看那么长的那么多关于 GoPro 9的东西呢，那也希望大家会喜欢刚刚的内容。反正这次的 GoPro 9，小伟个人觉得是比 GoPro 8多了更多的功能哦。自己个人比较有感的，那可能就是说它的画质，还有它的序列量都有30%，那我自己觉得是蛮屌的，还不错。如果现在才要入手的朋友，虽然价位是有点高，大家可以看到价位，可是个人是觉得蛮适合入手。那也希望大家会喜欢这支影片，记得订阅、按赞、加分享。我是小伟，我们就下次再见喽，拜拜。